Imagine a bright morning where Ella, a kind caregiver, sets foot in a grand mansion to care for Lily, the sweet daughter of Mr. Carter, a kind millionaire. As days pass filled with laughter, garden adventures, and secret hideouts, Ella's gentle heart discovers unexpected love. Not only does she learn how much care can brighten a life, but she also finds a special friend in the warm neighbor, Mr. Jack. In a world where contracts once limited rules, the magic of true love and family teaches everyone that the heart's promises are the best kind of promises of all. Before we start the story, leave a comment to let us know where you're watching from. Like and subscribe to support our community. Your support means a lot to us. Now, enjoy the story as we continue. Ella stood at the edge of a big, beautiful town with her little suitcase in hand. She was kind-hearted and brave, and she was starting a new life. Today was the day she would become the caregiver for Lily, the daughter of a very rich man named Mr. Carter. Although Ella had never worked in such a grand mansion before, her heart was full of hope and excitement. As the morning sun stretched its golden rays over the quiet streets, Ella remembered the promise she had made to herself. I will always do my best and show care that comes from my heart. With that promise, she opened the door to a taxi waiting to take her to the mansion. Inside the taxi, Ella looked out of the window at the small parks and friendly neighbors she passed by. The world outside seemed so full of life, and she thought that every new moment was an adventure waiting to happen. She began to imagine all the wonderful days ahead, playing in gardens, laughing with new friends, and even learning new things about life. Finally, the taxi stopped in front of a grand mansion. The building was enormous but had a warm glow about it. It had big windows, bright flower boxes, and a neat garden that smelled of roses and freshly cut grass. Ella felt her heart beat faster as she stepped out of the car. At the entrance, she was greeted by a gentle voice. "Welcome, Ella. I'm Mr. Carter," said a kind man with silver hair and twinkling eyes. He wore a warm smile and a neat suit. "Thank you for coming. Please come inside. Lily is waiting for you." Ella followed Mr. Carter down a long, polished hallway lined with beautiful paintings and soft music that filled the space with magic. In each step, she thought about what the contract had said. She was there to care for Lily, a task that might sound simple but could lead to a life full of unexpected wonders. Soon they reached a large room, and in that room, Ella saw Lily. Lily was a little girl with bright blue eyes, a smile full of innocence, and hair that danced like sunshine. Although she was a bit shy at first, her eyes sparkled with curiosity as she watched Ella. "Hi, Lily. I'm Ella, and I'm here to take care of you," Ella said softly. Lily walked forward and took Ella's hand with a look of trust. In that moment, Ella felt that she was exactly where she needed to be, a place where her care would turn into a deep and lasting friendship. The day passed slowly, with small moments of getting to know each other. They played simple games in a small garden, read colorful picture books, and shared stories about their dreams. Every word was spoken in clear, gentle language. Every smile was like a tiny sunbeam warming the heart. When the clock struck dinner time, Mr. Carter came in to thank Ella for the care and cheerful energy she brought. "I can see you and Lily are already fast friends. I believe this is the start of something very special." Ella nodded. She understood that sometimes life gave us gifts we never expected. In the quiet moments of the evening, while the mansion's lights twinkled softly in the dusk, Ella thought about the journey ahead. The contract had been very clear about her duties, but no one ever mentioned the surprise waiting in the heart, familiar and warm, like a secret promise of a new kind of love. She knew that caring for Lily was not just about following orders. It was about embracing a whole world of feelings, laughter, and even a little bit of magic that could change everything. That night, as Ella lay in a comfortable guest room, she whispered softly to herself, "Tomorrow is a new day, and I will meet it with courage and love." Outside, the stars shone brightly, as if cheering her on. The next morning, sunlight filled the grand hallway as Ella woke with a smile. Today promised more adventures and moments to cherish. Before breakfast, she walked to the large window overlooking the garden. The dew on the flowers twinkled like tiny crystals, and the soft chirping of birds played nature's lullaby. Downstairs in the dining hall, Mr. Carter had already set a cheerful table with delicious food. "Good morning, Ella," he greeted warmly, And good morning, Lily. Lily, now more awake and excited, ran in with a giggle. Every step of her felt light, as if she were dancing on clouds. Breakfast was a time for sharing little stories. Lily told Ella about her favorite fairy tales and about the secret treehouse she had built in the garden. Ella listened carefully, laughing at the funny parts and nodding in agreement at the important lessons. It was as if every word Lily spoke added more color to Ella's day. After breakfast, Mr. Carter showed Ella around the mansion. There were rooms with treasures from distant lands, corridors filled with soft paintings and sculpted statues, and a very large library that smelled of old paper and warm dreams. Ella found herself lost in the beauty of these details, wondering about the stories behind each old photograph and every delicate ornament. Lily, not one to be left behind, joined Ella on her tour. Together they discovered secret nooks and crannies, a small attic room filled with gentle memories, a garden with a tiny pond reflecting the sky, and even a hidden door behind a tall bookshelf that led to a little den perfect for fairy tale secrets. With each discovery, Lily's eyes shone brighter, and Ella's heart grew happier. In the afternoon, while Lily sat drawing a picture of the big old tree in the garden, Ella noticed a visitor at the door. He was a friendly man with kind eyes and a soft, welcoming smile. "Hello, I'm Mr. Jack," he said. Mr. Carter introduced him as a close family friend and a neighbor who often helped out around the mansion. Mr. Jack and Ella talked gently as Lily played. There was an easy friendliness between them. Mr. Jack explained how he had grown up near the mansion and often visited as a child. His stories were filled with childhood laughter and the simple pleasures of catching fireflies on warm summer nights. Ella listened, feeling that the world was much bigger than just the mansion. She realized that even though she was new, soon she would have more friends than she had ever dreamed. The afternoon faded into an early evening, filled with more simple pleasures. Lily and Ella spent a few extra minutes by the garden pond. The gentle ripple of water, the chirping of crickets, and the rustle of leaves in a mild breeze created a soothing melody that reminded them that every living thing was a part of one great, interconnected story. As dusk settled in, the mansion's lights sparkled like stars in a tiny sky. Ella helped Lily with a bedtime story about princesses who went on adventures and monsters who turned out to be friendly. In that quiet hour before sleep, Ella's heart was full. She felt that she was not just there to keep Lily safe, but also to share the joys that every new day brought. At the end of the day, as Ella sat in her guest room with a warm cup of tea, she thought about how each moment had knitted them together in a gentle bond. There was still much to learn about love, friendship, and even unexpected feelings that sometimes sneak up like a surprise gift. The days turned into a gentle rhythm of laughter, learning, and little surprises. Each morning, Ella and Lily would begin with the simple joy of greeting the sun. They watered the bright flowers in the garden, and sometimes, Lily would lead Ella on a treasure hunt across the soft green lawns. One bright Saturday, Lily woke up extra early and ran downstairs with twinkling eyes. "Ella, today we're going to have a picnic in the secret garden," she announced excitedly. Ella smiled and agreed, happy to see that every day held a promise of new adventure. Before long, Ella and Lily prepared a small basket with sandwiches, fruits, and a little sweet treat for later. The secret garden was a cozy corner behind an old wooden door, decorated with bright, blooming roses and a tiny fountain that sang a merry tune. The air was fresh, and the gentle hum of nature made everything feel like a happy song. In the secret garden, the two friends sat on a soft blanket. They talked about many things, of faraway lands where trees whispered secrets, and of brave knights who fought off dragons to save the kingdom. Lily asked many questions, and Ella always answered in a gentle, simple way, so that every word was like a soft breeze on a warm day. After eating, Lily played hide and seek among the tall hedges. Ella laughed as Lily darted from behind bushes, her giggles ringing like silver bells. In those moments, the mansion, the rules of strict contract, and all the worries of grown-up life melted away. There was only the present, filled with wonder, light, and a promise of hope. Meanwhile, Mr. Jack often joined them at the garden on weekends. He would bring along a gentle storybook, or sometimes a small kite to fly in the open sky. One day, as the kite soared high above, Mr. Jack told them about dreams that fly as high as that very kite. "If you keep your heart open," he said in a soft tone, "you will always find a way to touch the clouds." Ella found comfort in these words. They were just what she needed to believe in the magic of everyday moments. Over the weeks, as the seasons slowly changed, the garden became a friend to them. The blossoms of spring gave way to the lazy, golden days of summer, and soon autumn arrived with its crisp air and playful falling leaves. In every season, Ella and Lily found beauty and adventure. They made crafts from colored leaves, held little tea parties under the canopy of a giant oak tree, and even listened to the winter wind singing through the bare branches. In the warmth of those days, Ella began to feel something wonderful stirring in her heart, a feeling that was soft, gentle, and as surprising as the first bloom of a flower in spring. It wasn't just the love for her work that made her smile. It was a deeper, more caring love that grew stronger with every shared secret and every quiet moment of laughter. As time passed, Ella realized that she was beginning to understand the true meaning of care. It wasn't just about following a list of tasks written in a contract. It was about listening with your heart, about knowing that sometimes words were not needed when a smile or a simple hug could say everything. Lily, in her playful, honest way, showed her that the smallest gestures of kindness could create the brightest memories. Every night, as the mansion settled into a peaceful hush, Ella would sit by the window and look at the starlit sky. In the gentle glow of the moon, she would whisper promises to the winds, promising to keep nurturing the light that had grown inside her, a light that she now understood was love. And this love, she knew, was meant to be shared with those who needed it the most. One sunny afternoon, while the gentle song of the wind accompanied the rustling of leaves, Ella found herself in the mansion's cozy library. She was arranging some colorful picture books on a low shelf when she heard soft footsteps behind her. Turning, she saw Mr. Jack standing by a large window that overlooked the garden. His eyes were warm, and his smile made his whole face light up. "Hello again, Ella," Mr. Jack greeted kindly. "I was passing by and thought I'd share a cup of tea. The day is simply too beautiful not to be enjoyed." They sat together by a small table near the window. As Mr. Jack sipped his tea, he began to tell stories of his childhood adventures, of secret hideaways, and of a little wonder that often lay hidden in everyday life. Ella listened, completely absorbed. With every word he spoke, she felt a spark inside her grow. It was as if Mr. Jack's gentle spirit was making her see the world with new eyes. As the conversation continued, Ella began to notice the way Mr. Jack cared about every small detail. The way he asked about Lily's day, the gentle concern in his voice when he talked about the weather, and the glimmer in his eyes when he recalled happier days of youth. It was in these moments that Ella's heart softly whispered that perhaps, in this big mansion and in life's unexpected turns, something new was about to begin. Lily, who was sitting on a soft rug reading a picture book, looked up now and then with her bright, curious eyes. She was happy to see the new friend that had come into their gentle world. In her own simple way, Lily sensed that both Ella and Mr. Jack were beginning to form a special bond, a bond based on small acts of kindness, smiles, and warm understanding. The afternoon slowly faded away into a gentle evening, and as the last rays of the sun shone through the library window, Ella realized that her life was slowly changing. The contract that had brought her to the mansion was only one small part of a much bigger story, a story filled with laughter, care, and the warm glow of new feelings. Before leaving the library that day, Mr. Jack said quietly, "Ella, sometimes we do not choose who we fall for, but we learn that a caring heart always finds its way home." His words, simple and kind, stayed with Ella long after he had gone. It was a promise of hope and of understanding that sometimes love comes gently and unannounced. That night, as Ella lay awake listening to the soft night sounds of the mansion, she thought about the spark she felt. It was a spark of something warm and pure, a promise that even in a place governed by strict rules, the human heart could find a way to blossom freely. As days passed, little secrets of the heart began to bloom like the first roses in spring. Ella noticed that every time she laughed with Lily or shared a quiet moment with Mr. Jack, she felt as though a soft light was growing within her. Yet, Sometimes a gentle worry crept in. What if the feelings that were so pure and kind might conflict with the simple job she was hired to do? One windy morning, Lily woke up with an unusual frown. She had lost her favorite stuffed bunny, Mr. Fluffless, and the little girl felt very sad. Ella put her arm around Lily and said, "Don't worry, sweetheart. We will find Mr. Fluffless and bring him back home, just like we always do." The promise in Ella's voice made Lily's eyes sparkle with hope once again. That day turned into a small mystery. Together, Ella and Lily searched every corner of the mansion, from the quiet library to the sprawling garden, even under the cozy sofas in the living room. With every nook and cranny explored, their friendship grew stronger. Even Mr. Jack joined in the search at one point, offering encouragement and ideas. While they looked, Ella's heart was filled with gratitude. In the simple quest to find a lost toy, she discovered that caring meant sharing every emotion, joy, worry, and hope. After much searching, just as the sky began to show the soft hues of the setting sun, Lily shouted, "I found him!" There, under a bush near the back door, lay Mr. Fluffless. The joy in Lily's laugh was enough to make Ella feel that nothing in the world could ever dim the light of true care. That evening, after a warm dinner and the telling of brave little adventures, Mr. Carter quietly thanked Ella for her devotion and care. "You make everything brighter here," he said. "I can see that Lily is happier than ever." Ella smiled shyly, her heart both joyful and a little confused by how strongly her feelings had grown. It was as if each loving act had written a secret letter to her heart, one that said, "You matter. Love matters." In the days that followed, small misunderstandings sometimes popped up, moments when a missed word or a hurried gesture left a tiny shadow in their happy world. But with every apology, every shared laugh, and every gentle hug, the bonds grew even stronger. Ella realized that life was like a story written page by page, sometimes with a pause for a deep breath before a joyful new chapter began. One afternoon, as the golden sunlight streamed through the windows, Ella sat with Lily on a comfortable cushion in the garden. Lily asked in a soft voice, "Ella, do you think that sometimes love is like a secret treasure?" Ella hugged Lily gently and whispered back, "Yes, my dear. Love is the treasure that we share. It grows when we give it away freely." In that quiet moment, the two understood that every little secret of the heart was a promise that made the world a warmer place. Even Mr. Jack's occasional visits added to the delicate tapestry of hidden feelings. When he dropped by with a drawing of the garden or a gentle smile, Ella's heart felt a spark that promised more than just friendship. It was a promise that caring for Lily and caring for one's own heart did not have to be separate journeys. They could travel side by side. At the end of the day, as Ella stepped out into the soft, cool night, the stars twinkled as if applauding the quiet courage of her heart. She knew that while secrets sometimes make us pause, true love always finds a way to shine bright. One bright day in spring, the mansion's big garden transformed into a magical land. The garden, with its tall oak trees, colorful flower beds, and hidden little corners, was the perfect setting for a grand adventure. That morning, Lily woke up with a whisper of excitement. "Today, we're going on a garden adventure, right, Ella?" Ella grinned and nodded. "Yes, Lily. Let's see what wonders we can find today." With a small backpack filled with snacks, a map that Lily had drawn the night before, and a simple magnifying glass, they set off into the lush garden. Their adventure began by climbing the little stone steps that led to a secret courtyard. Along the way, the two friends discovered a trail of sparkling pebbles that seemed to lead to a hidden pond. "Follow them, Lily," said Ella, and the little girl skipped along happily. Every step felt like a new chapter in their magical story. Near the pond, they found surprising clues: a small, engraved stone that looked like a treasure marker, a fallen feather from a mysterious bird, and even a tiny, glistening key hanging on a low branch. With each discovery, their hearts raced with excitement, and they felt as if they were characters in a wonderful fairy tale. In the middle of the garden, beneath a grand old willow tree, Mr. Jack appeared unexpectedly. "Good day, adventurers," he said with a twinkle in his eye. He carried a small box with old garden tools that had belonged to his grandfather. "This key you found might open one of these old boxes," he suggested, gently examining the tiny key Lily had uncovered. The mystery deepened, and together they decided to search for the matching lock. With laughter and gentle teasing, they uncovered clues hidden beneath flower beds and behind ornamental statues. It was a puzzle that brought them closer than ever. Lily's eyes shone like bright jewels as she imagined secret doors and magical rooms inside the mansion. Ella, too, felt that every joyful moment was a step toward discovering not just the secret of the garden, but also the secret of a kind, expansive heart. After hours of playful exploration, the key's secret was finally revealed in a dusty old shed at the far end of the garden. Inside, they discovered a beautiful, antique music box that played a tune so soft it sounded like whispers of old memories. In that moment, the small adventure turned into a treasured memory, a memory of teamwork, wonder, and the magic of a day spent with those who care. As the sun dipped low and painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, the little band returned to the mansion with the music box safely held in Lily's small arms. Mr. Carter, who had been watching from a distance, smiled proudly at the sight. "You all have made this garden adventure one to remember," he said gently. "It reminds us that life is full of small mysteries that bring us together." That evening, with the soft notes of the music box still lingering in their thoughts, Ella sat down with Lily and Mr. Jack. Over warm tea and cookies, they talked about the day's adventures. Ella felt that the tiny key was not only a clue to a forgotten treasure, but also a symbol of the key to a caring heart, one that opens up to love, friendship, and the beauty hidden in everyday moments. As the gentle night wrapped the mansion in a calm embrace, Ella understood that adventures like these were the threads that wove everyone together into one big, loving family. Just when the days had been filled with bright smiles and gentle adventures, a sudden cloud of worry began to loom over the mansion. One rainy afternoon, a misunderstanding between Mr. Carter and a close friend led to a small crisis that made everyone's hearts heavy. It all started with a phone call that Mr. Carter received, a call that brought news of a business setback and caused a ripple of concern throughout the household. Though the details were complicated, the effect was simple. Mr. Carter was upset, and even Lily, who tried to remain brave, felt a wave of sadness. Ella noticed it right away. Lily, usually so lively, sat curled up with her favorite toy, her eyes filled with worry. The mansion, which had been so bright and friendly, suddenly felt a bit quiet. Ella gathered Lily in her arms. "We are here together, and together we can find the sun behind even the darkest clouds," she whispered softly. That evening, with steady rain tapping on the windows, Mr. Jack arrived at the mansion carrying a small bouquet of bright sunflowers, the very flowers that always symbolized hope. "Sometimes," Mr. Jack said in his kind voice, "even the rainy days remind us that the sun is never far away." His words were gentle, and they made Ella believe that no challenge was too big when kindness filled the heart. The following morning, with the rain now turned to gentle drizzle, the mansion's residents worked together to bring back the bright spirit of their little world. Mr. Carter, encouraged by the support of his friends and by the resilient smile of Lily, began taking small steps to mend the difficulties he faced. Ella helped Lily draw pictures of sunny skies and brave nights, and Mr. Jack organized a small neighborhood get-together right in the garden to cheer everyone up. In the midst of this tiny storm of troubles, Ella found her own quiet strength. Her gentle love and caring nature became a light that slowly pushed away the lingering shadows. When Mr. Carter expressed his worries about money and responsibilities, Ella reminded him with soft certainty, "Love and care are what make a house a home, not the figures on a contract." Her words, spoken as though telling a secret, seemed to ease his troubled mind, even if just a little. Little by little, the storm clouds began to clear. Lily's laughter returned as she played in the drizzle, splashing in small puddles, and Mr. Jack's visits brought more stories of hope. Even Mr. Carter started to smile again. The crisis, though real, gave everyone a chance to see that in times of trouble, compassion could be the strongest medicine. By the end of that challenging week, every resident of the mansion felt that they had learned something new about love. It wasn't found in the exact terms of a contract or the neat figures of a business plan. It was a gentle bond that turned hardships into moments of shared strength. And so, as the last storm droplet rolled away from the window, bright smiles began to replace the heavy frowns, and the sun returned to warm every corner of their hearts. After the trouble of the stormy days, there came a quiet time when every heart began to heal. Mr. Carter, now calmer and full of hope, started planning small celebrations to remind everyone that love was stronger than any setback. One bright morning, he announced a special day of thanks in honor of the family they had all become. Ella busied herself preparing simple crafts and kind surprises. She helped Lily make a colorful thank you banner and even baked a batch of cupcakes with extra sprinkles. Mr. Jack came over with his old camera to capture the joyful moments of the day, while Mr. Carter smiled proudly at the kindness that filled every corner of the mansion. As the day began, Lily ran around with the banner, her tiny voice singing praises of every little helper. Thank you for the sun. Thank you for the smiles. Thank you for all the love, she chanted, and each word was like a gentle miracle that mended broken bits of worry into shining hopes. In a quiet corner of the garden, as soft music played and the neighbors gathered, Mr. Carter took a moment to speak. Today, I want to thank all of you for making our home a place filled with care and love. Contract can only say so much, but the love you show every day is the real treasure. His words, warm and sincere, made everyone nod in agreement. That day, the mansion blossomed with hope. Ella felt a new joy in her caring role, a deep love that went far beyond any work agreement. She realized that healing comes slowly, one kind act at a time, and every smile was a promise that tomorrow would be brighter. Mr. Jack's quiet presence, always supportive and encouraging, made Ella feel that perhaps the spark between them might one day turn into a steady, loving flame. As dusk settled over the happy gathering, the thank you day ended with quiet moments of reflection. Under the soft glow of lanterns, Ella and Mr. Jack shared a tender conversation about dreams and the unexpected paths that lead to healing. My heart, Mr. Jack said softly, finds comfort in the simplest acts of kindness, the ones we share without even thinking. Ella nodded, feeling that in this healing, everyone was free to be exactly who they were, with no rules aside from the law of love. The gentle promise of the evening was carried away in the quiet night air. Each member of the mansion, Mr. Carter, Lily, Ella, and Mr. Jack, felt a little more whole. And as the stars peeked through the dark sky, a silent vow was made. That love, true and caring love, would be the guide for every tomorrow. In the soft light of a new morning, Ella found herself thinking again about the day she first arrived at the mansion. She remembered the neat little contract that had brought her here and how it had seemed so clear and simple. But now she understood that life was never as simple as a piece of paper could tell, especially when the heart grew full of love and care. That morning, Mr. Carter called everyone to the grand living room. With a gentle smile, he said, "When I hired Ella, I had one simple wish, that Lily would grow in a home full of kindness. Today I see that our little family has become so much more than what was written on any contract." The room fell silent as everyone listened. In that moment, every rule and every written line melted away in the warmth of shared affection. Ella felt tears sparkle in her eyes as she looked at Lily's smiling face and Mr. Jack's kind expression. It wasn't about money, duties, or rules. Love was what truly connected them all. With newfound courage, she spoke softly. "I came here to care for Lily, but along the way, I discovered that caring for one another means opening our hearts to unexpected journeys." The words, as simple as they were, carried the hope of a new beginning, one that was built on trust, togetherness, and the freedom to love in any form. The discussion continued as Mr. Carter explained that the old contract would now be replaced by a new understanding, a promise that every day, every moment, was a chance to act out of kindness rather than strict duty. The change was not only in paper, but in the hearts of everyone. It was as if a big door had been opened, inviting them all to step into a future filled with honest love. In the weeks that followed, little changes began to take root around the mansion. The rules of the old job were forgotten as Ella and Lily planned new adventures. Mr. Carter trusted that love would always light the way, and Mr. Jack's warm presence was celebrated as a sign that sometimes the best contracts in life are those written by the heart. Each day became a quiet promise, a promise that caring was not limited by paper, but was as boundless as the sky above. This new understanding gave everyone courage. Even on cloudy days, the family knew that the brightest light was always found by those who loved one another unconditionally. And so, with every small act, whether a gentle word, a shared laugh, or a quiet hug, the mansion became more than a grand building. It became a home where the heart was the truest law. As summer faded into a golden autumn, a special event was planned that would celebrate not only a job well done, but a love that was shared without limits. The mansion's garden was decorated with sparkling lights, colorful ribbons, and handmade decorations crafted by Lily and her friends. It was time for a grand celebration, a party to honor the new kind of family that had blossomed in every corner of the house. Everyone gathered on a crisp, clear evening. There were small tables filled with treats, and a gentle breeze carried the laughter of happy voices. Mr. Carter addressed the guests. Today, we come together not as employer and employee, but as a family that has grown in love and trust. Let this celebration be a reminder that true care comes without conditions. His voice, full of warmth, made every heart beat in unison. Ella, standing next to Lily and Mr. Jack, felt that her journey had brought her to a place of pure joy. She looked at Lily's shining eyes, at the smiles that had turned strangers into friends, and at the gentle glances shared between herself and Mr. Jack. The story of her arrival, the adventures in the garden, the storm that had been overcome, and the redefinition of a contract, all pointed to one simple truth, that sometimes love writes its own rules. The party was filled with simple, happy moments, a spontaneous dance under the twinkling lights, a gentle song sung by Lily and her friends, and quiet conversations that made every heart feel lighter. In that magical atmosphere, Ella realized that the unexpected had become the norm, and that caring for others was the truest form of happiness. When the night finally came to a close, as the last notes of a soft lullaby filled the air and the stars glowed overhead, everyone knew that this was only the beginning of a long, beautiful journey. In that mansion, a new kind of family had been born, a family built not on contracts or expectations, but on the gentle, unspoken promise of love. For Ella, Lily, Mr. Carter, and Mr. Jack, every day held the magic of being together. The little adventures, the hidden keys, and the shared smiles had all become chapters in a never-ending story about the beauty of caring. And as they all settled in for the peaceful night, the soft hum of the house whispered a simple truth. When love is true, there is no contract that can hold it back. It grows freely and touches every heart it meets. Hey there, story lovers. If you want to add a little more magic, adventure, and heartwarming moments to your day, make sure you subscribe to the Daily Stories channel on YouTube. Join our community of dreamers and seekers of inspiration. Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss our new story every single day.